easier. Will this ever get
Alright, that's what we want here. We're making a video on keeping the Android open. Sorry if I'm stuttering. I'm recording this late at night like I always do. Anyway, I have an Android phone and I like to be able to make it mine, do whatever I want with it, root my device, which is like jailbreaking. I have Fire TV right over there. Sorry. I have that Fire TV, like pointing right there. You can't see it, but like, I want to be able to make that thing mine. I want to be able to do whatever I want to it. I actually installed third-party apps on it and enabled the developer mode. I cannot crack into it though, but like, in order for me to crack into it, I need to root it as well. When we buy a device, we should be able to own it and not have these companies lock you down for what you want to do on it. What basically locking you down is blocking you from doing whatever you want on your phone. It's my phone. I should be able to do whatever I want with it. I paid for it. Well, I think I paid for this one. I think maybe my parents bought it, but I probably paid for this one because I broke my other phone, which is somewhere in the bin drawer. But like, because I threw it with a dead battery, it still has data on it. But like, I should be able to own this. I have a Quest 3 over there. Let me show you. I got this here, Quest 3. It has Meta Horizon OS. It's made by Oculus or Meta, but like, I should be able to own the operating system. No, I don't own the operating system. I've installed third-party apps. I've even installed phone apps from here onto here. This has an operating system. All of your devices have an Android operating system, right? Even devices like the kiosk at Taco Bell and then the kiosk at probably McDonald's. That actually runs Microsoft, but some of them run Android. You have a bunch of Android is everywhere, and so is Linux. Linux and Android is like this, because Android is based off of the Linux kernel, if you guys don't know about that. So yeah, and there's even times where I had my freaking Fire TV turn on me. I specifically turned it off because I'm trying to sleep. It turned on me to blast an ad about a new movie or show. I was thinking in my head while I was walking over to unplug the power from it. What? Amazon, I'm trying to sleep. Don't stop doing stuff in the background. No. Turning it off, it turns it off, but no, the moment there's a freaking ad going, the moment there's something new going on, Amazon's background services will turn the TV on to blast a freaking movie in your face. You guys probably had that happen to you too, but it blasted a TV show ad in my face. There's so many freaking ads on this operating system, on the Fire TV OS. I cannot disable it. You can disable it in settings, but they will still force it onto you, so I can't even trust my settings anymore. Consent is no longer a thing. Saying no in 2026 is no longer a thing. I thought it was, but it's not. When I said no, I didn't want a credit card, I mean it. I didn't want a credit card, but my mom forced it on me. I don't want a credit card. It's called consent. Learn to use it, people. And it's called Google giving us consent on what yes and no is. And it's called Microsoft giving us consent about yes and no is. And it's about Amazon and Meta and all those other tech giants giving us consent on what yes and no is, not exploiting us. But yeah, your phone, this is about your phone not being yours. So yes, this is no longer freaking mine. I own the physical part, but not the operating system. So now they're gonna block out every app who hasn't registered with their government ID. Who's gonna give out their freaking ID? Like, they told us when they told us we shouldn't give out personal information. We already give out tons of it. Now we have to give an ID. Now, for developing apps. Now we need to give an ID for our operating system. Yes, I'm using Linux right now without an ID because it's free and open source. Now the government wants to make Linux have an ID verification, or some boomer thought this was a good idea. No, that boomer doesn't know what Linux is or how technology works. You can just bypass that. But in the state of California, you now have to verify your ID to use an operating system, and you have to verify your ID to use Windows. That's gonna be the next freaking update. I mean I don't like Windows too. I use it for 5%, Linux 80%. Windows I used to change the thresholds on my DDR pads because the thresholds, the server and the FSR servers there, I could set it up for Linux too, but I don't have space. I mean, I have space, but a little bit of space. They don't take up that much space, but still. I'm going off track. But yeah, Windows sucks. It forces you to do everything. I hate the fact that everyone is still using Windows. Even my family is using Windows. Even my mom is so worried about getting hacked. Mom, why are you so worried about getting hacked? Your Windows takes a screenshot of your PC. It's called Microsoft Recall. It takes a screenshot of your PC and sends it to Microsoft. And any hacker can get this screenshot data from Microsoft Recall. It's glorified spyware and malware. The whole operating system of Windows 11 is. And it's also ransomware, because it will lock up your PC with OneDrive and it will lock up your freaking files with the encryption. Sometimes it will randomly encrypt your drives if you tamper with it, or if you didn't do anything with it, or if you unplug it, or if it gets corrupted. It will encrypt your drives, and you need to use a Microsoft account. The reason you need to use a Microsoft account is so it stores the keys on that Microsoft account. You better not lose your Microsoft account or else you're locked out of your files. Oh wait, I can just use a little tool. I can insert it into my SSD and I can get the keys from that to decrypt it. I don't need a Microsoft account because somebody demonstrated a vulnerability to where you can get a tool to get the decryption keys off of your SSD to decrypt the data. But you don't need to do that. But anyone can do that. And they also have, they demonstrate this already. But if you memorize your password to your Microsoft account, then you can decrypt it. But if somebody hacks your Microsoft account, they now have access to your decryption keys. And so does Microsoft. And Microsoft has a track record with getting hacked. This is what I mean by you don't own anything. So if Microsoft gets hacked, they have access to your computer, as well as your decryption keys to that computer. So a hacker can just find out where you are with all this data, or get the decryption keys of anyone's data and decrypt your computer. That's completely unsafe. Yeah, I totally feel like we're using Windows 11 right now. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, I totally want to use a Microsoft account instead of a local account just to use Windows 11. Oh yeah, I totally love it when Windows 11 forces it in your face to use OneDrive. Oh yeah, I totally loved it that they put all my files in C OneDrive desktop instead of C user's desktop. I hate all this forced crap, and I hate the fact that companies don't know what consent is. And I still have Google asking me to back up my photos. No, I don't want to back up my photos to Google Drive. But yeah, all of this is relevant to your operating system is not yours. And we need Android to be open sourced. There's open source Android distributions out there. But yeah, this is for developers. So now developers must register. Yeah, it says it right here. Now developers must have their ID pretty much. I don't want to have to dox myself just to release an app. Yeah, that's what it says. You bought the phone and you could install whatever you want. Yeah, you could install whatever you wanted. We bought an Android to modify it, and it's open source. They're trying to be like Apple now, so this is now essentially an iPhone, like Apple. Like this is now essentially gonna be closed source. We can't go to we can't. Yeah, but yeah, these companies and government or whatever wants to insert control over everyone. It sucks, man. This is like 1984, and the music video. I feel like somebody's watching me, and the Coomer music video. The Coomer music video, the government knows. Yeah, you know that music video. But yeah, let's keep Android open source. And guess what, guys? Keep doing whatever you want with your device. Don't let these companies exploit you. That's the 131 signing off.